Ladies and gentlemen,
Let's do it.
we're live.
15-hour drive.
Right. 15 hours it is for sure.
Last year, Zach and I traveled all the way to Atlanta, Georgia, to our first creator-focused event. We showed up with some cameras, some questions, and not really knowing what to expect. But something happened. We didn't just attend the event, we became a part of it. We met incredible makers, heard stories that stuck with us, and felt what this community truly is. This year, we came back for one reason: to listen. The past few years, Zach and I have felt that something was missing from the makers community. Something that's in between the lines, that you can't quite put your finger on it. So we figured the only way to find that out was to go find it for ourselves. And as usual for these Rustic Lumber adventure trips, we never leave empty-handed. Along the way, we dropped off orders and shook hands with some of our clients around the country. That's not including somehow getting turned around in the pitch black, winding up on some backwoods, flooded town in the middle of a bayou. Yeah.
And Google,
Like, here, I want to see how bad it is.
Probably deep enough I'm going to be like,
Oh yeah, no, it's definitely going to be, it's definitely going to be deep enough that you're not getting through that. All right, well, let's see here. Zach and I, we kind of, Google took us down a bad road. It said road closed, but we couldn't figure out where to turn around because there wasn't a place to turn around. And we've got this entire trailer behind us. So now we're going to take a look at how bad this thing really is. Oh. Oh my gosh, Zach, there's no damn way. Stupid Google.
we're going to plow right through it.
Yeah, right. Oh my gosh. With all that said, we made it to Atlanta safely, woke up the next day, and started to set up. This year, we came in with our cameras, our mics were ready, and we had one goal: talk to everybody. And who better to ask first was our friend Duffy. We met Duffy last year, and it was his first time at the event. And by the end of it, he told us that he was gonna hit the ground running. So what better way to find out what he's been up to than to sit down with him and ask him.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with the one, the only, the legendary Duffy Woodcraft. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. How are you?
It's been a while, huh?
It's been a year.
It's been a year. So last year, if I remember correctly, it was your first year?
Was my first year. That's right.
Okay. And you were just kind of like, you were really trying to step out there and start like putting yourself out there more and more?
Yep. Last year, the whole point was to get to know people and start creating content and get moving.
Okay, I remember. We had quite a bit of we talked even after off camera about some of the content. So walk me through, what was it been like? So what was it that you did? Like you left Workbench last year and you said, okay, leaving Workbench, I'm gonna do this, and this is where I'm gonna start going. So walk me through.
Yeah, absolutely. So I started working with Next Wave CNC. I got a machine with them and started doing CNC content on Instagram and YouTube. Started a YouTube channel. So I'm doing training for CNC with me, or with Next Wave. I'm also working with CNC with me with Hamilton Dilbeck. I'm one of the instructors over there now.
Let's go.
Yeah, and so that YouTube channel is growing. I just got monetized.
Hey!
Plus I've done at least one market, if not two markets, every month locally. I launched a new website with a store on it as well, so I'm selling on my store now. So it's just been milestone after milestone this year.
That's so amazing, man. I remember when you came in last year, you were kind of apprehensive, a little nervous. You were kind of, you're not, I wouldn't say hesitant, but you weren't sure what direction you were going.
Right.
So what has been that, so did you pick up that type of understanding and go get them from coming to Workbench, or did you just like get inspired by coming here?
Yeah, so I'd say Workbench really gave me the motivation to start doing things and some foundation of friends to reach out to, and when I had problems, or hey, is this something that you think would be good content, or so on. So I made a lot of connections that allowed me to move forward and with what I'm creating, and gave me the motivation to do so. So it was a lot of fun.
Hell yeah. I know, I've seen some of the stuff you do. We were over there checking some stuff out, and I was like, yo, that Jurassic Park thing looks tight as hell. And then I said, wait a second, I know this guy.
Yep.
So it's great to see just the progress of where you were at and where you've come from. And so now from the investing in the YouTube and the content creation side of it, right? This is predominantly organic, right? You're not really doing paid ads, right?
Correct. No paid ads.
So what has that been like investing in not only just yourself, but into your content and your platforms?
It's been a lot of work, for one. I work a full-time job outside of woodworking, so I do a 40-hour work week, and then I put another 40 hours into my shop. So I'm constantly working, and it is not something that if you want to get rich quick or a light, easy pastime, it's not something you're going to be doing. But I like the hustle. I like moving forward and doing it. It's a lot of fun. So it keeps me motivated, and it's a lot of fun.
By doing all of this, is that, I mean, I know it's probably gaining a little bit of supplemental income,
a little bit, yeah.
a little bit, but it wasn't obviously you were doing it for free, basically.
Oh yeah,
for
absolutely.
a period of time. So you said you just started getting monetized. So what is your game plan for next year? Or I guess for the rest of this year, moving into
next year, this year. Again, I'm going to be focusing on teaching. I have plans to do a lot more with the CNC with me community and do a lot there. I'll be at the AWSF show. I'm a teacher there. I'm doing 2 classes on intro to CNC. So I'm going to be focusing a lot on how to help people move that barrier. YouTube is going to continue. I do 2 new videos every week or every month. So I'll be continuing with a lot of those getting started projects for people. So that's my focus, is just keep doing what I've been doing and adding more to it.
So if you had to say something to another crafter, another creator who's looking into doing exactly where you were, like they were starting out, they're like, hey, I'm kind of trying to find a sense of direction. What would you tell them in starting out and what to expect?
Just do it. It's the number one thing. It sounds cliche, but just get over yourself, get in front of the camera and do it. The amount of people I've talked to in my hometown since I've started this, they're like, well, how do you do this? Or how do you get to a point where you can work with a company and stuff? And I'm like, it's not about, just sitting on your hands and waiting for somebody to reach out to you. You need to, reach out to companies you want to work with. You need to create the content to show value ahead of time. So before WorkbenchCon last year, I had started a whole series on YouTube Instagram, that started gaining me a little momentum. And then I was able to use that momentum to say, hey, look at what I've done. This is where I'm growing. This is what I want to do. And so just get over yourself and just do it.
Hell yeah, man. It's so exciting to see you, bro. I'm so glad to see it. Thank you so much for coming down and sitting with us. And of course, obviously, I cannot wait to see what else you make. I saw the Jurassic Park. So now I'm going to be looking to be like, all right, I need him to make some God of War stuff. Yep. I need to make some Fallout 4. I'm a huge, obviously games and movies and all kinds of stuff. So I'm gonna be like, all right, I need every talisman under the sun. I need every Jackie Chan talisman.
Oh, yeah, that's a great idea. I'll be hitting you up with those.
All right, man. Thank you so much for sitting down with us.
Yeah, of course, man. Take care.
Next in the chair was Isaiah. I felt so bad for Isaiah because we spent probably an hour having a conversation and fought through multiple technical difficulties. By this point in the interview, you're going to hear is Isaiah's story, and something about Isaiah's story just hit a little different. As a matter of fact, as of right now, while you're watching this, he's currently doing mission work out in Costa Rica. So if you're watching this, blessings on your journey.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have Isaiah. I've called this man Elijah like 6 times, even though I know his name is Isaiah. The biblical names got me messed up.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me about his man. He's a vet. He's got a podcast that he doesn't really want to tell everybody about yet, but he's going to, as well as the fact that he owns and operates 3 different woodworking companies. Tell us about them. Tell us the story of how he got started and what brought you here.
Thanks, Brandon. Owns and operates. Owns no, operates yes. So there's 3 different companies that are in the woodworking group that I'm with. Sons of the Artisan is mine, I own. Hunt Heritage, I'm stepping into to own. And they produce all the raw tables. And then Wells Works is a finishing shop. And I operate that company too. Work with a total of 3 men. Really great system we got going, but it's been a long journey, a lot of long nights. And just one of those stepping into it, looking back now of where I've come, it's a weird past. So grew up on a farm with 11 siblings, the same farm that the shop is still on. Went on the next big step, I would say, in life was went on a medical trip with my grandpa, got a big medical heart, and from that mission trip, ended up getting into the military at 17 years old. So at 17, went to basic training, came back, finished up high school, then went to AIT.
Back up. You said you went in at 17?
When you got to get your parent signature.
Oh, how in the world did that get slid? Like, who slid on that one?
So I was head over heels with Chloe Fitzgerald at the time. And I was like, okay, like I got to start making moves to marry this woman. And so got the great idea to join the military. And through that, there was a full ride scholarship that was being offered that I was like, hey, double up.
Okay.
So I went to my mom and she was like, by no means. My son is not joining the military.
I didn't think that was going to go over smooth with mom.
No, it didn't. So I remember sitting in the kitchen. I said, Mom, it's National Guard. I'll never be deployed. Like it's a stateside job.
Right.
And Mom, like, don't worry, Mom. So fast forward, was enlisted for 5 years as a 68 whiskey field medic, and then went to college on a pre-med degree. And as soon as I got done with college, Chloe and I got married junior year through college, had our first son my senior year of school. I was brigade executive officer over the 800 cadets at the University of North Georgia. And that's when I got orders to deploy.
I know your mama was ready to cuss you out.
With the pregnant wife.
You was...
Yeah.
I'm sure somewhere in your mother's soul, just she'll look at you at the dinner table and just go, I can't believe this man told me he wasn't going to leave. He wasn't going to get deployed.
Oh, yeah. So through that season, my brother called and he was like, hey, tell me all his business stress. And was like, what do you think about coming and working for the family company again? I was like, you know what? I got to move home.
With you now, you've come here, you've learned. What's the first thing you're doing when you're getting back?
Making calls. So all these people, updating shop, making calls, continuing the networking process, going out there and doing call outs like Surf Pro, Holly, awesome. Like you, Brandon, like it's like, hey, put this into work now, because now I can go and call Zach and Brandon and say, hey, how do we get together and say, I don't do any live edge, but I have 100 clients a week messaging me, and a percentage of them are saying, man, any live edge? How can we incorporate that? Because nothing happens until you take what you learn here and you put it into practice, and then you say, hey, I'm going to go make that video with Surf Pro. I'm going to do the Mech and the Medic podcast.
Right.
Even though it's hard. Like, embrace it. Like, you have to put forward and embrace it, because if you don't embrace it, then I've definitely been in the loops of in business where like, all right, let's go, and then you get back to the shop and you're like, oh. It's like the old town revivals. You go and you're all revived, and then you get back and it's like Monday hits, and you're like,
Monday hits. It's
Monday
like,
hits.
I call that the same thing that everybody does at the beginning of the new year. Everybody says New Year resolution. I'm going to the gym. I'm getting healthy. And then January 2nd comes through, and somebody's like, everybody's looking at their clock as they trying to get up. They're shutting that alarm off, like going back to sleep.
The hard hits. And it's like
hard hits. All right, cool. The first month is easy. Now it's that consistency.
Yeah.
Now it's staying on top of it. And that's what it comes to, the same thing of your business, right? There's so many elements of your business, and you're in operations, so you know it's the fact of there's so many layers that it's real easy to let the other things slide to the back, and then before you know, it's that podcast that didn't get launched, or that content or the video still sitting on your phone, or photos you didn't post. It becomes that level of consistency. And so it's been great to hear some of the guys that we sat down with last year who it was their first year, and they had not done anything. They're like, I'm nervous, I'm not sure, this is my first time. And then bringing them back this year, and they sit down and they're like, here's what I did immediately after leaving here.
Yep.
This is what happened to me. I built I built a partnership with this brand. I worked with this person. I've grown this way. I sell more things on my own website now. And so it's being able to show the case that the things here that you learn work as long as you apply them and you stay consistent with it.
Yeah, you speak the truth.
All right, man. Tell the people where they can find you.
The best place is Wells Works Furniture Facebook page. And look out for, after being here, we're going to do YouTube, Instagram, but give the good old Southern boys time because it'll be a learning curve, but we're going to get out there and we're going to do it.
One of our favorite things about events like this is that this is where you can see the craft evolve. When a maker finds a problem, they don't just wait for someone else to fix it. They build the solution themselves.
We have Mike from, what are we at? How do you pronounce it?
It's Qantas Toolworks.
You said Qantas?
Qantas.
Qantas, like almost like quantum?
Like quantum, quantifiable, metrics. That's where the name comes from.
Qantas Toolworks. All right, Mike, so tell me a little bit about Qantas.
Qantas Toolworks was founded last year. We are innovating upon your traditional hand tools, fusing cutting-edge engineering with timeless artistry of craftsmanship. At Qantas Toolworks, we believe that craftsmanship is more than a skill, it's the art of precision.
Okay, so walk me through, what was it that made you say, like, I got to do this? Like, I can't do it no more. I can't use big chisel, or big tool works. I gotta make my own thing.
So I come from a motorsport engineering background where I had all the tools available at my disposal, was working on a project over the summer where I was cutting a bunch of miters, 15, 30, 60 degree. Got frustrated with having to get out my protractor and keep resetting the miter angle. So I built a little, I don't know how you'd call it, kind of like an improv makeshift bevel gauge. It was nothing fancy, but it kept me from having to reset those angles, which led me to create our first tool that we're planning on launching.
So then walk me through, like, let's check this bad boy out. What are we talking about here?
So this is our BG1 bevel gauge that we are planning on launching. What makes it different than your traditional bevel gauge is that it's got an indexing mechanism with a detent. So you can pull down this button and be able to set the different angles. There are incremental detents at 15.
Here, I'm going to hold your mic and you go ahead and show them.
There are 15 degree increments. So all you have to do is open this cam, pull down the button, and then you can rotate it, push up on it, and it locks it in position there. And that way you know it's exactly, in this case, 75 degrees.
Okay.
You don't have to go fiddle with your protractor. It's got an independent blade locking mechanism, so you can adjust your blade without having to adjust your angle. We also have this kickstand here, so you can rest it on your workpiece and not have to worry about the handle falling down. You can use this blade here for laying out your lines. It's made out of stainless steel, so don't have to worry about any sort of corrosion. And it's got a flatness within 0.2 millimeters across the whole blade, so that you've got that precision and accuracy that you need.
Since this is an event about content creation and networking and learning more about just marketing and just being within the woodworking space, what is it that you plan on taking home from this?
By trade, I'm an engineer, which means I, for lack of a better word, suck at marketing and content creation. So I'm here to learn about how to create content, to be able to promote the brand, promote our tools, and get the name out there that we're here, we're trying to take on the big kids on the block, but it's all about that content creation that I'm still learning about here. Okay,
so for you, what's your number one thing where you're like, as a brand, because you're not just a craftsman, right? This is a specific brand. For you, what do you feel creating content and being in this world and space as a brand, especially a newer one, can do for you?
Well, I think it does more than promote our products, but creates a network of community. Because if you invest in one of our tools, you're not just in buying a tool, you're investing in the art of precision. And that investment goes to creating new tools to help craftsmen build their workshop up and connect and pass down to the next generation. Because we want to build our tools that are very durable so that they can be passed down to the next generation, going back to building that community.
Beautiful, man. Well, tell the people where they can find you. Is this ready to go? People can buy it today?
Not yet today. We're planning on launching the BG1 in April.
Oh, so all right, real quick.
This is our first major prototype. We went through 20 versions already, but you can find us on Instagram at Qantas Toolworks as well as QantasToolworks.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are here with the Shinobi, Chris. No, we're here with Temple Tools, and Chris is here. He's going to tell us about these new saw blades that I'm trying to not buy, that I have no reason to have. So, Chris, tell me about it.
Well, they're Japanese pole saws. I've been a user of Japanese pole saws for a really long time. And fell in love with them early on because they're really affordable. And if you want a quality Western saw, they're $200 to $300. So when I got into using hand saws, Japanese saws were about $40, $50. So I was able to afford a nice set of them. I fell in love with them. Been using them for about 10 years. And while I grew in my woodworking journey as a content creator, for Third Coast Craftsman is my YouTube channel, I met a lot of Japanese saw manufacturers that I would do sponsored videos for. Started working with a lot of those companies. I developed some really good relationships and was able to partner with a gentleman in Japan who had a lot of nice connections with manufacturing and designed my own set of saws that are a little bit more tailored for us Western woodworkers. So I did a lot of work on the teeth geometry. Where
teeth geometry. Oh.
Yeah. So,
explain to me teeth geometry.
So, like, essentially the shape of the teeth. There's all sorts of different teeth shapes that are designed for soft woods.
Oh, I kind of see what you see. I see what you
or cross cutting across the grain or cutting with the grain. These two saws are like a fine joinery set of saws. So the one you're holding is the crosscut version, and this one I'm holding with this rounded end is for rip cutting or for dovetailing. So they're like the dynamic duo for fine joinery, like cutting dovetails in drawers and things like that. So, but I wanted to, so I did a lot of work on the teeth to make them the best for kind of our Western customers, like the types of wood we use, cherry, oak, maple, things that are really common in the U.S. And then I also kind of put this Western aesthetics to them. So this brass back that Western saw makers often do, but Japanese saw makers don't ever. And then also this nice dark handle and kind of the rattan wraps that are more like in ornamental ways. Just making like a beautiful saw. Right. Also tuning the teeth to make them that much better for what we do. And yeah, I'm just couldn't be happier with how they turned out. Love them. They work great. A lot of people are really liking them. So it's been a really cool journey.
So talk me through. So you talked about that you got into this and even played with this idea from your own YouTube channel and working with sponsors. Yeah. So talk to me about with you collaborating with sponsorships and what that journey's been like that led you to say, you know what? Instead of just going ahead and using your guys' products, I'm going to make my own. So what was that thought process like?
Well, especially in the Japanese, we'll just specifically talk about the Japanese tools a little bit. So there's a tough language barrier, and there's, they design their tools for like what they are doing over there, and
like bamboo and wood. And what type? I don't know what type of woods out there.
Woods and different types of joineries that are more common over there, and also their aesthetics too. In Japan, what I've noticed is a lot of their tools are a tool is a tool, and they're not as interested in like making things super beautiful in the tool. And I've always liked tools that are also really attractive and well made and beautiful. It just like inspires me to use it and do my best work with it. So I guess some of the frustration was I just wanted to see a little bit better out of it. And so when working with some of those brands and making recommendations, because I also did some design work for them too. I said, hey, I think you can make a better saw. Would you guys bring this saw to market? And they did that, but they didn't quite get my vision or like what I was kind of recommending. They still kept it their own. And so I just thought I could do a little bit better in that regard. But as far as working with sponsors in general, it's just a great learning experience over the years. And it's really helped me translate into now being the brand side of things, working with others, working with content creators to have them promote our product. So it's been a really nice coincidence to start my own tool company, to have all that knowledge of being on the other side of a sponsorship deal. So now I just know both sides really well. Now I'm working with tons of influencers because I'm really good friends with most of everybody since I've been doing it so long. So it's just been a really easy transition and relationship to have my fellow woodworkers check my saws out, use them if you like them, whatever, and building some partnerships and deals that way.
That's amazing. All right, Chris, tell everybody where they can find you. Tell everybody how much these saws are and how to pick one up today.
So right now we're selling them exclusively on Amazon. We're working on bringing this distribution on, our own website. We're still just getting all that lined up, but you can get them on Amazon. These 2 Dazuki saws are $65 each. And the Ryoba saw, which is the 2-sided kind of general purpose saw that most people are familiar with, is $45, super affordable. And then we have a flush cut saw as well that is $22. And those 4 saws are kind of, I wanted a lineup that will do about 99% of all woodworking for somebody. So with those 4 saws, you got your medium to large joinery and cutting stock down with that Ryoba saw. You got your fine joinery with this, and you got your flush cut saw. So it's a great lineup for anybody who wants to get into woodworking.
All right, man. Thank you so much for sitting down with us. Look forward. I'm telling you, I have no business owning one of these saws. They just look damn good pretty.
Yeah, they are.
And it makes me
They're
want
handsome.
one. I'm not even gonna lie. The entire time we've been sitting here talking, I've been running the whole entire video production idea in my head. I'm like, all right, I can use Zach's shop. I can go down there. I get a little bit of fog machine in there. Make this stuff. I already came up with a whole thing. I have no business for this. I have none whatsoever. So thank you so much, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Now ruined my entire life to figure out what I need to do with this thing.
You gotta get one. You gotta get one.
While I was sitting down doing interviews, Zach was showcasing our new product. Something about Zach is that he isn't just selling products. Everything that we've made, all of our finishing products, from the oil to the epoxy to our new poly, it was all born from years of listening to what creators, builders, and makers actually need. Pro-level results that don't break the bank. It's always been a community over commerce for us. Day 2 was all about the women who build. A teacher to an architect to an artist, each and every one of them is showcasing their talents, their skills, and why they're so passionate.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are here with Clara from Clara's Woodshop.
Hi.
Woodshop?
Yes, woodshop.
All right. I almost said workshop. I almost caught myself here.
Close enough.
All right, Claire. So you this is your first year, right?
Yes, this is my first year in Workbench Con.
Okay. So walk me through what it was that you decided, because you're here with your boyfriend as well.
Mm-hmm.
He's off camera. He'll come in here in just a minute. So what was it that you two said, how you guys are, let me rephrase. What was it that got you guys started, and how did you come up to say, we got to go to Workbench Con?
So Workbench Con, this is something I heard of even before I started woodworking our channel.
Right.
It was always there, and it's something that I never really thought to go. But this year we just had a really good opportunity to come join the entire amazing event. So hey, we got to go.
Walk me through what it is you did. How did you get started? And then with that, you seeing, because this is not a inexpensive investment. And a lot of people are spending anywhere between $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 to get here. So walk me through what you guys did and what made you say, I think we can learn more.
So with Workbench Con, what we hear a lot is it's a really good place to socialize with people, getting to know other makers. And there's just so many opportunities that you can learn from it. But like you said, it's not an inexpensive investment to pour in to come here. But luckily, we were sponsored by one of our Patreon members. So that was, he really wanted us to come and just get to experience this opportunity, because he really wanted to help us out and just have ourselves get to know other people, brands, and even people like you, just wanting to know other people. So we got to, we were offered that opportunity. And at that point we were thinking it's not easy it doesn't feel really great to just take away that, take in that opportunity, because we know it's not a cheap investment. So we were thinking about it. We were hesitating a little bit, but at the end of the day, you know what? Someone is offering us help, and we have to also learn how to accept that help. That is olive branch that is reaching out to us. So we took that olive branch and we came here, and we got to really enjoy this amazing event. Mm-hmm. All makers, everyone struggles, and
that's across the board.
Yeah, across the board.
It doesn't matter whether you're making stuff with your hands or we're doing filmmaking. I do marketing, and so it's understandable everywhere and every which way. So I
I get that.
So I think in one word, the camaraderie, feeling understood.
Yeah.
I think that's a motivation that like I'm not alone. Well, because like, a lot of time this is also that goes all aboard. Like everyone works alone in their shop. So sometimes like the thought you're just thinking to yourself and repeating. You're just in an echo chamber. Right. So like coming here, talking with people like I'm not alone. Like that, what I'm going through, it's okay to go through.
I agree. That's something that we heard a lot last year was a lot of people who they're, like you pointed out, you're in your garage, you're in your workshop, you're by yourself. This is a you thing. So you might go through processes and thoughts and things, and then you come here and you get to be face to face with everybody, and everybody's like, yeah, that's me too. Yeah, that's me too. Yeah, that's me too.
Yeah.
So it's tomorrow. Let's say it's a year from now, right? Where do you hope to be a year from now?
A year from now, I hope to be in a place where the creative flow is more consistent. Like there's no break. Like I'm constantly in the groove because in a way there was a disconnection in the groove of creativity making. So I would love to be in a place that curve is constantly, like the wave is constantly coming in, and I'm excited to work on the next project, or while I'm working on something like, oh, this would be a good twist to put in. Like, because in a way, like every time I have any kind of accident or like a mistake happen in a project, I'll be so furious. I'll be so upset. But instead of being upset, like, oh, what can I do out of this? What can branch out from this accident? And what kind of experimentation would I want to try next time? So I would want to be in a place that it's more fun. It's just making can be fun again, like more exciting.
Being the partner to a crafter, and you guys are working together as a team, and you're getting to see the business side of it. From what I understand, what I'm hearing is that crafters are going through stuff that sometimes they're just doing stuff to keep the bills and pay the bills, but there is a level of creativity that you need to explore in order to flourish and be successful. And having that mindset and looking at how you've already built your platform, how are you guys looking at pivoting that platform just a bit to lean more into that creativity? Have you guys found a style and an idea of how you want to do it?
We think so. We think we found a style. And a lot of that has been exploration. So like for, I would say, the past year and a half or so, it's been finding what ways appeal to Clara. And for me, her happiness is most important. So that's what I kind of focus the exploration around. Let's try this. And then let's collect the data from that. How do you feel about it? And then you like this, then we'll try more things like this and adjust.
I think you said it best right there. You said, what's the data from it? How can we pull it and figure out how to make the thing work? I know it's a lot of crafters, they struggle with the fact of like, they're afraid to make that move to change something up because it's uncomfortable. It's kind of scary. And so you guys, I love hearing the fact that you guys are saying, you know what, we're going to work on what makes us happy, but also where we can go and learn and grow and prosper from it. So it's amazing to hear that. And I can't wait to see where things progress. Let everybody know where they can find you guys.
Claire's Woodshop, that's the handle for everything. YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, wherever.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with Susan from Blueprints and Babies. She was just telling me that this is her second year here, but we didn't get to meet her last year because she had twins. Tell us a little about you, your twins, your process, and what brings you back.
Sure. So I am an architect. I'm also a woodworker. I make cabinetry custom. I worked for a firm my first few years out of school, and then I started my business in 2021. So I'm out on my own in my business. I'm probably about 60-70% architecture and the rest woodworking. And posting on socials. So I do post on, Instagram, TikTok, those kind of things. I had my babies in end of 2023. They're now almost 18 months, so this is my first time away from them.
Talk to me about how you got from architecture to woodworking to going out on your own. Like, first of all, architecture is just a thing altogether. And then for you to be out on your own is just a whole different thing. And then how does that incorporate babies in there? Like, walk me through it.
Sure. So I was working for a firm around the time of the pandemic. We started working at home, and I loved working at home. So I think the pandemic really pushed me to go out on my own. And after we went back to the office, I was like, this is not for me. When I was working at home, I was able to do a lot of more woodworking, start hands-on stuff. I purchased a new house and started renovating it by myself while the whole world was shut down. So that really kick-started my woodworking. I experimented on my own house before I started doing other people's houses. So now in my business, I work for clients mostly and do their house.
Tell me about why you're back. You were here before, took a year off, came back. Mm-hmm. What brought you back?
I needed the inspiration. I did. I wanted to be surrounded by like-minded people who were going to just inspire me to keep moving. Because right now, because I'm only working 20 hours a week, a lot of my life is babies. And I wanted this chance to be away from my babies and find myself again. And these are my people. Like, these are the people that understand design and working with your hands and tinkering. And so just, I don't really care about the classes. I can learn the information from Google. I'm going to be honest. But being around these people is what I needed.
As a mom, and I love asking these questions to moms because it's always interesting here because you all give me the same answer.
Okay.
What is it like taking time to just invest in you, to realign with you?
Gosh, it takes support from the people around you. That's where I am. You know, I wouldn't get out of the house if my husband didn't make me. And so we started when they were about 6 months old. My husband said, hey, one night a week, you're out of here. You get out of the house. I don't care if you go sit in your car for 3 hours. Like, you're not here. You're going to take time for you. And I needed that. I needed that push because we have guilt to not be with our babies.
Mom guilt is so dads out there. Unless you are like me who works a bajillion hours a week and, you do the best you can with all the kids. Mom guilt exists just from like being going to go take a shower. Right? You're just like, all right, I got to go take 20 minutes to go take a shower. And then you start feeling guilty for taking a shower. And as dads, we're looking at you like, girl, go.
When my husband comes home from work and he has his hair cut, I'm like, oh, you got your hair cut today, huh? It's like that 20 minutes that it took. Like, I don't get that 20 minutes a lot of times, on the way home. And the shower thing, I've paid a babysitter to go take a shower. That's sometimes what it takes to say, hey, babysitter, can you stay for another 30 minutes so I can go get a shower before I have to take over here?
I know there's other moms out there. We just got done watching all these women take a photo and come out there and do all that. So what would you tell the moms out there, the up-and-coming moms or the soon-to-be moms, the moms who are, 10 years down the line? I know they're going to run into this because they will, right? They're going to find you. Tell them what you would tell them for taking the time for them.
I'm going to tell you it's going to be hard. It's going to be so hard, but it's necessary. And if you don't do it, you're going to lose yourself. And I'm 18 months into this and I'm still learning that lesson. But I take my 20 hours a week and I go in my workshop and I have my time for myself. And on the project, I make sure to get out of the house every day. Even if I don't need to go anywhere, I make sure I'm getting in my car and going somewhere else and talking to another adult before I come back to my house and only talk to toddlers. So yeah, it's hard, but it's possible. It's possible.
Tell everybody where they can find it.
Sure. You can find me at Blueprints and Babies on Instagram and TikTok. And you can find me as a business at cypriere.studio.com. That's CYPRIERE studio.com.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for sitting down with us. All right, guys. So we're back here with Sarah from Rosie's Woodshop out there in New Jersey.
Yes.
So go ahead and tell me about what you got going on out there.
All right. So I started off making pens in my college basement, and then I made like 100 of them, and it got kind of crazy. And then people were calling me the pen girl. And then
Define pens, like pens you put on your shirt, or like
Do you want to
pens
see?
Yeah.
A pen.
Oh my gosh.
I made that, and I laser engraved it.
Define you made it. Like walk me through this.
So, well, it's a lot to process with like, you process the wood to like 3/4 by 3/4 and like 5-6 inches long. And then these are 2-inch segments. You turn 2 on the lathe at the same time so you can make a matching pen. It's a twist. When I start off making pens, it took me like maybe 15 minutes a pen, and now I can get it down to 4 minutes.
4 minutes a pen.
Yeah. And I use a Harbor Freight lathe and Robert Sorby tools.
So you just in and out.
Yeah, I don't know. Other people tell me that it takes them 20, 30 minutes, and I don't know. I've made like 300-400. I'm working on an order of 50 right now.
Companies?
For a storefront.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I would love for like, I actually had someone at a craft show come up to me and they said, hey, do you have 20 pens? I need them for holiday gifts. And at that time, I wasn't making that many pens. It was like, no, you could take the 5 I have. And they walked away. And I was just like, darn. But I would love to do like holiday gifts for companies. That'd be cool.
So how do we go from making pens to where you're at now?
Yeah, so now I am a special ed teacher at a private school in Central Jersey. And the reason why I have my master's in special ed, my BS in technology education, and my BS in elementary education.
How long you been in school, girl? Goodness gracious.
7 years and 5.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So it was a lot. But the whole reason I got into STEM was because if you think about it, when you were in like middle school or high school and the special ed kids, did they go to the engineering classes or woodworking or anything? No. So I wanted to give that option to them. And I was at public schools and they kept saying they were going to give it to me. And sometimes I would get a few students for a little bit. And I just wanted more of like a real classroom for them to make it more adaptable to them. So then I started reaching out to special ed schools. And then the one I currently work at was like, this is awesome. We want STEM at our school. You're hired, It's pretty cool.
It was just that easy.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. And it's a really great school. I super appreciate them. They're very supportive with everything. They gave me professional development days to be here.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, because I told them how much like this can help, like talking to brands and everything.
So that actually leads us into the next question. With you coming here, this is your first year, right?
Yes.
So what is it that you wanted to get out of coming here? And what is it that you hope to learn from coming here?
Well, I did want to learn more about epoxy stuff because I just play around and I'm really good at winning giveaways for some reason. So I have about 3 gallons of epoxy I didn't pay for, but it's like the expensive ones. So like Total Boat and like other ones.
Right.
And I practice with like Michael's brands for now, but I wanted to meet brands and like, because I'm not a huge account on social media, but like I know how to do the engagement where I used to post reels 3 to 5 times a day and like the numbers were crazy and it gets addictive and it's very unhealthy. But so I'm not really like crazy about numbers so much anymore, but just meeting people and like going to the classes they provide here are awesome. And podcasts are so fun. Like I love talking, so it works. So I wanted to support my school, help them, because the Makerspace, we're hoping to go live in July. So, like, I've already talked to brands about, like, them donating stuff or giving us a discount, and, like, working with us for everything. And then I'm also part of something called SWIM under AWFS, Society Woodworking Manufacturing. And it's basically a club to get students back into the trade and to get them into woodworking and to get them into factories and all of this stuff. And SWIM is to we will have like a monthly meeting, but basically the point of it is to like host woodworking events, host STEM events, work with Skills USA. And our chapter may focus a little bit more on the special ed population because it's like a cool thing. Right. There's a chapter in California that is the start of everything. So I was also here to like I've had a few conversations with people for that they're interested in SWIM. So it's basically like, so I'm like the education side and then we'll have someone from the industry help run it.
And shout out whatever organizations and things that you want to have the people support or look into.
look for special ed schools around you and see how you can support them. And also, AWFS Fair is in July. I will be there at the swim table and doing some stuff with them, so come check that out. And if you've ever heard of Masa Chips, my discount code is in my bio. They're tortilla chips fried in beef tallow. It's my brother's company, actually.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, no, it's really cool. So I like to support him too sometimes, throw him in.
Right. Thank you so much for sitting down with us.
problem.
Have a great one.
Every handshake, every story, every late night in the shop, it's all part of the same thing. Your wins, your struggles, there are those moments that you almost quit. All of it matters.
I needed that sense of community again. You know, being around other people, because I'm a one-man shop. It's just me. I have a couple of friends, a very small circle of friends back there in Huntsville. But, and actually, I had to give credit to Scott Wiener, you know, because he's like, you're going to go this year. I said, all right, I'll go. I'll tell you, this year is the year. That's literally, it's going to be my year because I have goals and I've talked to people and there's more talks after this, which I never even thought would happen.
That feeling we had years ago, that something was missing. It was the people. It was the connection. We come to these things to learn and get inspired, for sure. But really, we come to find each other, to remember we're not alone. We know that what the missing piece is. It is us, the community, connected together at all times, which is why Zach and I, we are finally happy and proud to announce the secret project that we've been working on.
Okay. Well, it's now June.
Yeah. June 10th, I think, or something.
13th?
13th.
Friday. Yes, Friday 13th.
Friday the 13th.
So yeah, this is being filmed the day it's supposed to go live. We'll see if it actually gets live today. It's supposed to, but we got some last minute things thrown in. But, ladies and gentlemen, we have a special announcement to make.
Oh, yeah.
This entire film process has opened our eyes to something that we feel that we really want to bring to our community, and how important it is to not just, you know, obviously be makers and creators and all that fun stuff, but to also really hone in on our community, really showcase the support that we can share with each other, as well as share the knowledge that we have with one another to elevate and bring us up. So that way you're not, hey, you know, I talk to so many people and they're talking about how they're working, you know, in their garage till 2:00 in the morning, or they have to make 700 birdhouses to be able to do this full time. And I don't want you guys to have to do all that. Like, it's insane. We both know what it's like to be up till 2:00 in the morning working on some stuff. And there's so much time that's taken away from other things in life, like family events or spending time with your kids or spending time with your spouse. So we decided for Zach to get a phone call.
Yeah.
So we decided to create two things. The first one being a community app. We're still working out the name and some of the finer details of it, even the logo. But this community app is going to be the strong point of our, you know, woodworking creator, maker community.
Our vision that we have to help elevate everyone else in business. There's numerous other coaching or business going on, but no one, I feel like, is really honing in the between community and helping people grow. There's both sides of the facet. There's the shows out there, which are great, you know, brings us together to communicate with each other and have fun. And then there's some, you know, business aspect on other applications, but we want to merge these two together. And I really feel like both Brandon and I, for years now, felt like this has just been missing in our industry, where people were really actually coming together to help build a business up and help, you know, just make more money and get more done.
That's kind of the whole big thing, right? Is that we come to these events to not just, it's fantastic that we get to see friends and hang out, and it just feels like kicking it with your homies for, you know, like for old time's sake. But then the other aspect to this is business. Like, we are doing this in some capacity to make money. You spend hundreds upon thousands of dollars traveling across the country to learn and experience more. And sometimes you're jam-packed with so much information,
how are you going to retain it all? How do you get to keep all of that information? There's just no way possible.
Yeah, because once you leave, that's that, you know?
That's that, yeah.
And then you got to figure it out on your own from there. And what's great about what we want to offer is not just the show aspect, but the continual support from throughout the rest of the year with actual support. And not even just support on the business end, but then you get support between Brandon and I on the products you need for your business, as in your finishing, your wood, what you actually physically need to make your business happen. And then on Brandon's end, his products where he can help people actually create the content, do marketing strategies and stuff like that. That's what's really going to make us a lot different, is what we have to offer physically for your business as well is going to help elevate it as much as just the business side of it, business knowledge.
Absolutely. It's not enough to have just a really great show. A fantastic show in itself is fantastic. And we love every aspect of that. But then at the same time, you run a business. And unfortunately, you don't know everything. I mean, most of us don't. We all had to spend years and grind and spend, 20 hours a day trying to figure things out. And so I personally know what it's like to devote all this time that I'm doing in my business, and I'm missing out on events with my family. And this was up until now, I've started to be able to remove myself from my business. I've been able to remove myself from the day-to-day and bring in a team, not super crazy expensive, but just find a way to give a little bit of my time back. Because at the end of the day, guys, we can always make more money. Always. You can always make more money. Under no circumstances can you make more time. Once time is gone, time is gone. And if we haven't learned anything over the last 5 years, is that our time is crucial. The time that we have here with our family, with our friends, is critical, because tomorrow is not always promised. And so we want to make sure that we can educate you guys. We can bring in assets and information, things that you have at your fingertips. You can grab them right there, so that way you can have that time back. So you can be in the shop.
Learn how to scale. Scale without spending thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. That's, I think, the biggest thing is too many people think scaling. Too many people think they got to do it all.
Yeah.
Because they can't afford the scaling. Yeah, same here.
We know what that's like. We absolutely know what it's like we have to be, the goal is for you to not be in the business. You are the business. You don't want to be in it in the day-to-day. Right now, you got a job that's taking up more time than you getting money. And even if it's a hobby, we'll make sure you obviously making the chump change. We live in an economy now where you got to have 2 to 3 different jobs, mandatorily. So at least let's cut out one of those jobs, or at least make one of the side jobs get you a little bit more money. Yep. So with that, we have the app. And then that also is the announcement of right across the street here, we are building an entire new office, right?
Brand new shop. So we have our current shop, which is right behind us. We've been in this shop for like 15 years now. And just the growth we've had the last 5 years, we just came to outgrow it. So we're more than doubling our size. Our inventory is getting bigger than ever. And we thought, what's the perfect thing? Rather than show first, community second, we're doing community first, show second. Yep. But what the good thing is, with our new location, we're going to be able to put on a really good show. And the best part of all is where we're doing the show is at our own shop, is we plan to save you money from what you've been spending to go to these shows and learn much more. So this is going to be really exciting. So let's get showing you everything in the game plan here, what we are going to have to offer, and let's get started.
We haven't figured out what the name is yet. It's right there. We got it. We have it. I take it back. We figured out the name. We just can't show you just yet. Expect it to be showing up here by the end of July at latest, but you'll see it here soon.
Yep.
All right, let's show you guys the shop.
Okay, so I'm at the new shop here. We got a good start on it. We got to finish the metal siding. This new shop area is going to be 184 foot by 60 foot. So it's double the space we currently have. That area that's plywood, we're actually going to build a new timber frame showroom out from it eventually. Our plan is throughout this next winter. That's going to be all showroom space coming out about 36 foot. One of my favorite things here is this shop. We have a huge 24 foot wide garage door. We can haul slabs in easily.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Yeah. So we won't have to maneuver the big stuff in here. So we already started using it for storage because we're so out of space in our current shop. But you drive in, we're going to have our wood kiln there. This whole area over here is going to be dedicated just for workspace. So all of our equipment's going to be set up, all of our tools just on this side. This long side over here is all going to be for wood retail. We're going to build out new storage racks, new lumber storage. It's going to be much easier for all of our customers to come in and actually see physically what they want to pick through, rather than right now our work area and sales area is kind of, mixed in together. So this is going to be more independent areas, lots of space. You can see we already started getting our slabs in here. Now, that's not how we're going to store them long term. We're eventually going to have storage racks for it, but we just had to bring them in here. But I'm really excited because with this big space we're going to have and our huge showroom, that's going to be a beautiful timber frame structure, 2 floors in it. We're going to have all the space necessary to put on a workshop event here. And what's going to be good about this workshop event is we're going to both have business knowledge and skills knowledge going on here, and of course fun and all that. And since it's right in our own shop, we won't even have to charge you to come to this show. Other shows are charging $500 to $700 to attend it. This is going to be completely free for everyone that is part of this community, and it's going to be super awesome. I'm really excited. And the fact that we're in the middle of the country, everyone from all sides can meet us in the middle, and it's just going to be a great time.
All right, and I'm pretty sure everybody's wondering, like, what's the catch? How much is it? You're going to be doing all this stuff for free, and we're going to have a free tier of useful tier. I always hate when people make apps and they're like, here's the free tier, and you can't actually do anything with that information. The information we have in there will absolutely be applicable right away for free. Just like we do on YouTube. Basically, it's the YouTube stuff plus. So you get all the stuff that we would do on YouTube and explain things on YouTube, but then elevated because, it's a community. So you guys get to get more information out of it, more use out of it, and so much more. So
yeah. So we're going to have lots of free knowledge. And of course, launching this, the people that get started first are going to have the most benefit as compared to when it gets more established down the road. And then what's also going to be great, everyone that's part of this community, they're going to get exclusive discounts to our Rustic lumber store between the wood products, the slabs, all that stuff, plus Brandon as well on his side of the business to help you create content and marketing. So it's like a win-win-win. You're going to be able to come to this event. You're going to get free training. You're going to get exclusive discounts that no one else is going to get. This is going to be a community that no one else offers and has available anywhere at the degree that we are going to have.
So we want you guys to really just get ready. We're excited. We're super excited to show you guys. And thank you so much for watching this film. We had an amazing time. Thank you for everybody who participated, who joined, who sat down, who had these conversations, who talked with us off camera. And we truly value so much that you guys have taught us and shared with us. And we can't wait to give back and do more.